preparing all conditions for the general election and the first session of the 16th National Assembly.
Trump. U.S. military campaign in Iran could last up to 4 weeks.
Surge in study abroad trend to South Korea and China. What is attracting young people?
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news. I'm Hoàng Yên, and here we go, the first headline of the show. On the morning of March 2nd at the National Assembly House, under the chairmanship of the National Assembly Chairman Chuẩn, the 55th session of the National Assembly Standing Committee just officially opened. The chairman stated that the 55th session must make the thorough preparations for the organization of the general election and the first session of the 16th National Assembly.
Delivering the opening remarks, National Assembly Chairman Tran Thanh Man stated that only 13 days remain before the election of deputies to the 16th National Assembly and People's Councils at all levels for the 2026-2031 term, scheduled for March 15, 2026. At this session, the National Assembly Standing Committee will also provide opinions on 10 draft laws and 1 draft resolution expected to be submitted for approval at the first session of the 16th National Assembly. In addition, members will review for the second time preparations for the upcoming first session, along with several other matters. The chairman emphasized the overarching principle of thorough preparation, ensuring that no stage is handled passively.
With limited time remaining and numerous major tasks ahead, the 55th session must ensure all necessary conditions are in place for both the election and the first session of the 16th National Assembly. These are highly significant political tasks.
Regarding election preparations, the chairman noted that before, during, and after the Lunar New Year holiday, relevant agencies have been actively making comprehensive preparations to ensure the successful organization of the election of deputies to the 16th National Assembly and People's Councils at all levels for the 2026 to 2031 term.
On March 1st, U.S. President Donald Trump said that the American military campaign in Iran, carried out in coordination with Israel, could last up to 4 weeks.
The United States and its partners have
President Trump stated that despite the strength of the United States, Iran remains a large country. Therefore, 4 weeks, or possibly less, would be a reasonable timeframe to complete the military campaign. The remarks are seen as the clearest indication yet from the White House regarding the expected duration of the operation. President Trump reiterated that he is willing to engage in dialogue with any remaining members of Iran's leadership, but said he is uncertain when such talks might take place. Within the first 24 hours of the campaign targeting Iran, the U.S. military deployed various assets, including air defense missiles and fighter jets. According to United States Central Command, U.S. forces are striking targets aimed at crippling the Iranian regime's security apparatus, prioritizing sites posing imminent threats. Military sources said more than 1,000 targets have been hit, including military headquarters, missile launch sites, warships, and submarines.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that the peace negotiations with Russia, mediated by the United States, could be delayed due to escalating tensions in the Middle East.
Speaking about the possibility of holding the next round of talks, the Ukrainian leader emphasized that the timing and venue of the upcoming meeting between the Ukrainian and U.S. delegations, as well as talks with the Russian side, will depend on the security situation and practical diplomatic conditions. President Zelensky added that he and U.S. President Donald Trump had agreed that the planned trilateral negotiations in March should pave the way for a direct meeting among the leaders of the parties involved to advance efforts toward resolving the conflict.
According to the plan, three-way discussions among Kyiv, Moscow, and Washington were expected to take place this week in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates. The risk of delay emerged after the United States and Israel carried out airstrikes targeting Tehran on February 28, triggering retaliatory actions by Iran across the region.
Upcoming are some updated news.
As of the afternoon of March 2nd, global gold prices surged amid escalating tensions in the Middle East, driving sharp increases in domestic gold prices. Gold bars at SJC, PNJ, Doji, and Bao Tin Min Chao were all listed at 186.9 to 189.9 million VND per tael, buying, selling. Up 2.9 million Vietnamese dongs per tael on both sides compared to the previous session, setting a new high price range across the market. On the global market, spot gold was trading at around $5,417 per ounce, up 2.6% from last week's closing level.
In response to the escalation in the Middle East, travel and tourism businesses in Ho Chi Minh City have activated emergency response procedures to ensure the safety of travelers. Companies have proactively reviewed all tour operations, worked closely with airline partners, and continuously updated alternative plans to ensure customers' itineraries can be adjusted appropriately under all scenarios. They are also prepared to reschedule tours to a more suitable time and redesign itineraries based on actual conditions if requested by clients. For trips scheduled to depart in March 2026 using Emirates and Qatar Airways, travel firms in Ho Chi Minh City have proactively contacted customers to advise on suitable options, including adjusting flight routes or switching to alternative itineraries if necessary.
In 2025, Vietnam's lobster industry recorded breakthrough growth in the China market. According to the Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers, lobster export turnover to China reached a record $858 million, more than tripling compared to the previous year. The main driver has been rising demand in the premium segment. As China's expanding middle-class fuels higher consumption, Vietnamese green lobster is favored for its firm texture and naturally sweet taste, making it well-suited for restaurants and seafood buffet chains. In addition, the 0% tariff advantages under trade agreements such as the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership in the ASEAN-China Free Trade Area, along with close geographical proximity, have helped Vietnamese enterprises reduce logistics costs and maintain product freshness.
In addition to Western countries, South Korea and China are emerging as increasingly attractive study abroad destinations for Vietnamese youth. Statistics shows that the number of Vietnamese students choosing South Korea has been growing by 30 to 35% annually, while an estimated 12,000 to 15,000 students pursue education in China each year. So what is behind the rising popularity of these destinations? More in the story today.
For Ho Thi An Hong, these days she is focused on learning Chinese in preparation for her upcoming departure. She believes that studying in China and Taiwan costs only half, or even one-third, compared to many other countries, making it more suitable for families in rural areas. In addition, the initial foreign language requirements are not overly demanding.
I chose to study abroad in Taiwan because Taiwan offers a good educational environment, much lower costs compared to other countries, and widely available job opportunities.
In reality, South Korea and China are home to many universities ranked among Asia's leading institutions, with strengths in technology, engineering, economics, communications and languages, helping students adapt early to the labor market. Statistics show that more than 10,000 Vietnamese students study in China each year. Meanwhile, over the past 3 years alone, South Korea has attracted more than 115,000 Vietnamese students. Many of them have gone on to achieve success and secure promising career opportunities at major corporations.
South Korea offers generous scholarship policies, depending on TOPIK certification levels, which significantly reduce study costs so parents do not have to provide substantial financial support. However, students themselves must prepare their language skills carefully and thoroughly research scholarship policies.
When choosing a major, international students should carefully study the curriculum, assess its suitability, and consider their ability to pursue it in the long term.
Studying in countries with dynamic economies, close geographical proximity, and cultural similarities is becoming an increasingly attractive option for Vietnamese youth. Beyond expanding international exposure, it also offers a competitive advantage in employment opportunities, as more foreign enterprises continue to invest strongly in Vietnam. However, to turn study abroad aspirations into a solid stepping stone for the future, young people need to proactively research information, strengthen their academic knowledge and language proficiency, and prepare themselves for global integration.
The last story descended our news today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye for now, and thank you for listening.